Okay, if you are a regular around this channel, then you have heard me tell you time and time and time again that if you are trying to expand your home daycare business into a center, or you're trying to expand your center into a second location or multi-location, that everything that you have going on that's good at your childcare business is not only the good things that you have going on at your childcare business, but also the problems and issues that you have yet not to solve. And so today, you guys, let's just have a chat about it. Let's talk about it, and not only talk about it, but I actually want to give you we're going to actually do like a mini audit on what could be hindering you from that expansion. So to get started, what I do want to talk to you about is the fact that a lot of owners will immediately, they'll say, hey, Ashley, I'm trying to expand my childcare business, or I'm in my home, daycare, whatever. We want to kind of move out. We just feel like it's getting too crowded here. Like we live here. My husband's not liking it. I just, all those kind of things. Or I'm in a center, I really, really want my second location. And the very first thing that they'll go into is talking about looking for a location. Like that's kind of like the first mindset, or everybody's logic is to go looking for a location, when that is far from what you should be doing right now. Like when I say far, I mean like far, far, far away from what you should be doing if you're trying to expand. So let me share with you a little bit about my expansion story, because I went into 3 license types in under 24 months, you guys, and it was crazy, and I was not ready for the growth. I was not ready for taking on staff. I was not ready for the marketing. So the thing about it is that with me, I did not have an issue with marketing. That was the reason why I was expanding. You might be, in the same boat. Or maybe it's not marketing, or maybe you do have an issue with marketing, but you just want bigger space, whatever the case is there. But in my situation, you guys, I went through 3 license types in under 24 months, and I was not ready. Now, let me also explain that again, I did not have an enrollment issue. That was the reason why that I was trying to expand. But when that happened, I actually then had an enrollment issue. And the reason why is because the way that I was marketing, which was like word of mouth back in the day, that was like word of mouth and flyers and that kind of thing. It worked on a smaller scale, but when you actually like expand that, when you go into, taking on more enrollments and you are able to be licensed for more, what I was doing on that smaller scale did not work for the bigger scale. So just kind of keep that in mind as well. Like when you are expanding, although something might work now, it may not work on a larger scale, because you're going to have to kind of like, I want to say upgrade, but you're going to have to do things differently. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to automate every single thing that you possibly can in your current childcare business. And what we want to do is create what I like to call a mini franchise setup, so that what you will be able to do is just simply do a copy and paste of what works into a larger childcare center. And what I love about doing it this way is that this will allow you to open up as many childcare businesses that your little heart desires. Or, maybe you just like, nope, just want one. But whatever the case is, like the copy and paste kind of method, it just makes it so much easier. It's an easy transition. You know what you're doing. You know what works. And literally it's what corporate companies do when they are franchising or things like that. One of my favorite franchises that I love to always think about is like, McDonald's, we all know McDonald's, but there's something about Subway that I just think is the coolest like franchise, because just the way that they have to teach everybody how to make the sandwiches and all those good things is the same exact way that you're going to have to be able to teach your staff, your teachers, everything, right? And not only just teaching that, but just how you're going to go about and actually conduct business, and do your operations. So, okay, you guys, welcome. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley Benz of Ashley Benz Consulting and Child Care Business Executive Tools, where I help you start, automate, or expand your early childhood education business. And I do all those things over at ashleybenz.com. So now if you're interested in learning about how to start, automate, that's what we're talking about today, how to start, automate, and then expand your early childhood education business, and you would love to be involved in more videos like this, then you already know what I'm going to ask you to do. But go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and make sure that when you do subscribe, that you hit the little bell so that you're notified of when I post up videos, and go ahead and give this video a like. So before we hop in, let's go ahead and take a sip. Oh my goodness. I really needed that moment, that little second of calmness, because my day has been kind of crazy. So take a sip, you guys. I'm going to take another sip, and then let's hop into today's video. All right, we are ready to rock and roll. Now, before we actually get started, there is a download that's down below in the description box. So be sure to go ahead and look that up. And yeah, that should be able to help you kind of follow along and all that good stuff. Instructions are on there on how I want you to use that along with today's video. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do when we are trying to audit, and I will say this, when you're auditing and trying to kind of figure out what are the problems that you're having right now with your childcare business, what are the things that you do not want to expand? What are the things that you do not want to be dealing with when you go larger, when you get that center? And so one of the things that I do when I'm helping a client, go through this process, we literally dig in. And when I say dig, I am talking about like you have to go to the depths of your childcare business so we can really find out what is not working for you, because those are the things that we don't want to copy and paste over to the new place. So the very first thing that you're going to do is I want you to break down your childcare business into these 5, what I call automated engines. Okay, so the first one is going to be accounting and budgeting. So if you're taking notes or if you have the download, then you should see that already there. But accounting and budgeting, okay, that's going to be the first thing that you want to go in and audit. Your second thing is going to be your marketing and advertising. So we want to audit that. The third thing is going to be your management and leadership. So your staffing, all those things. The fourth thing is going to be your customer service and program quality. And then the fifth thing is going to be your office organization and procedures. And the bonus one, you guys, which is my specialty, which I did not mention, my specialty is in childcare business automation and in work-life balance. So that's what I do as a consultant. But I do want you to add a bonus, because I want you to add the 6th engine, which is work-life balance. Because here is the thing about it, okay? Your childcare business, yes, it should be serving children and families, but it should also be serving you, your own family, and you, and everything that you are wanting out of this business. And I always look at my childcare business or any business that I'm running as a relationship, okay? I am serving you, you're serving me. It's a mutual thing. It's an equal part kind of system. And it's not that I am constantly giving to you and then I don't get anything back. And the reason why I say that is because, and you guys that are, if you've been around, you've heard me say this before. But the thing is that if you don't get what you need out of this childcare business, you are not going to do a good job, okay? If you're not being taken care of, if you can't put food on your own table, if you're being sleep deprived and all those kind of things, it's going to really be hard for you to give to these children and families in your community. So we want to make sure that we are building a business that is going to allow for great work life, okay? And all the things that I'm going to share with you today really kind of indirectly will do that. Okay, so now that you have these engines written down or you're following along on the PDF, then now what we want to do is you want to go by each department, so to speak, and you want to ask yourself, Because the two things that each section of your business or each engine or department, whatever you want to call it, I usually call them engines or refer to them as engines, but it should be doing one or two things. It should be decreasing your time or increasing your income. Okay. Actually, should be doing both of those things. Okay. So I'm going to say that again. It should be the way that you have it set up. It should be decreasing your time and or increasing your income. So let's think about your accounting and budgeting. I want you to think about, what do you do right now with your accounting and budgeting? Do you have a software system? Are you still doing it on paper? Yes, I've talked to several of you guys. We're still on paper. I've even seen an owner write out paper checks to her staff. So you got to think about that thing, because, what's quicker? For me to sit down here and take a pencil and I am writing out paper checks to my staff, or would that be quicker that they enter their information into a system and, we do direct deposit? So that's just one example. But again, I am going to be putting more time back into my day as a business owner when I am streamlining and automating my systems, okay? So marketing and advertising, that's a real big one, okay? So what are you doing that is allowing you, or how is your marketing and advertising set up in a way that allows you to decrease your time and increase your income? So what does that look like? Well, I'm not going to be out here, marketing in an old-fashioned way. You're not going to see me out here, knocking on people's doors, sending out flyers, putting business cards laying around and things like that. Not saying that doesn't work, but again, the time that I am spending hitting the pavement, like I like to call it, versus me doing it right here at my desk, is going to save me so much more time. On top of that, I'm going to be able to expand my income because I'm able to expand my marketing efforts. Does that make sense? Okay. So you want to go through each of these and you want to think about, okay, how am I decreasing my time and what I'm doing here and increasing my income? Let's do staffing, because I know this is a big one. I'm trying to get a video for you guys on the staffing, because I know this is a big one, but there is that video is going to take a little bit more time consuming for me to put together. Anyway, nonetheless, let's just use this as an example. Okay, so let's think about the things that you're doing to attract your team, to, if you're a home daycare business, let's say it's lesson planning, anything when it comes to staffing or just trying to manage the day. And so if I am trying to look for staff in a way that is word of mouth, again, you guys, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that these things don't work. My job is to help you with your time and help you with overall trying to expand. Let's go there. So for staffing, if I am taking time out to use paper ads and putting things, word of mouth, or putting flyers up, at the church bulletin to try to advertise that I am hiring and I'm looking for, teachers and things like that, versus, okay, me having a system right here on my computer that does that. Think about the time. Now, if you try to expand that, so let's say right now that you really only need about 2 staff members. Maybe you're a home business and you just need 2. Or maybe you just have 1 location and you just need 5 staff members. But you expand that, you're going to need more people. You're going to need more manpower. And if you are doing things in a manual way to try to attract, hire, and retain staff, you're going to burn yourself out automatically. Okay. So again, these are things that we need to think about when we're thinking about expanding. What are you expanding? Okay. Oh, got to do another one. Got to do another one. Okay. Your office organization and procedures. Let's talk about that. All right. So one of the things that really comes up a lot is the paperwork. That's the one thing that I am big on. Okay. I am a stickler on you guys using paper. I don't use paper here. My desk right now, you can't really see it all, but you could probably see enough to know that there's not a lot of paper on my desk, because you would be able to see that, okay? So let's think about those things. So let's think about the things that you do paperwork. In fact, right now, if you actually want to do a real life example, I want you to look on your desk right now. What stack of stuff is on your desk? Go pause the video, go to your desk, look on your desk. What's going on your desk? It's probably a lot of paper stuff, right? Think about if there was a way that we could put all that stuff in here. And there is ways, okay? Think about that, okay? That is going to save you so much time because it's all here, right? So what that saves is that I don't have to take these documents and put them through a scanner and then, upload, then, find where I'm going to put it at and then rename and do all those things. Everything comes from here. It stays in here. So think about what you're doing right now and you expand that into a larger childcare business, okay? So the stack of papers that you have, think about that being more, right? So again, go over these things. And what I want you to do with the little PDF that I gave you is I want you to write down what are the things that I want to do to, like, what do I not want to do in this? So if it's accounting and budgeting, what is it that I don't want to do anymore? Okay. Because what is it that I want to put time back into my day? What about my marketing and advertising? What's not working with that? I just really want you to just go wild on that, okay? Whatever you come up in your mind, whatever problems, just write it down, okay? Just brainstorm. I just literally do not think about it. Just start writing, okay? And I just really want you to fill that up with your wishes, your wants, and all the things that you want to, that you don't have a solution to. Okay, so once you have that, the next part of the audit is to look at everything. Now we're going to analyze. And what I normally do, once we kind of, really dig in and I'm able to see what's really going on, usually it's a lot of things, okay? Usually it's just not one thing that's causing you or hindering you from your expansion, but it's a lot of different things. And so what I normally like to tackle first is just whatever is literally taking up the most time. Because what you need to be doing is you need to do what you can to decrease your time, so that you're going to have the time to be able to set up these automated systems that will be then easy to copy and paste. Does that make sense? Because right now, if time is an issue, you're going to have a hard time doing the work, okay? So you do have to try to go in and decrease the time and find, because let me just say this. Once you decrease time, then you're going to be able to increase income. Though that's just the way that it works. Because when I am spending less time on things that don't grow my business, which is what I like to call things that are busy work, okay? Because there's busy work or there's purpose-driven work. When I am spending less time on busy work and I'm spending more time on purpose-driven work, that's where my income is able to increase, because as a business owner, that's what I'm going to be focused on, right? I'm going to be looking at, okay, how can I make more money here? How can I save cost here? How can I increase my enrollment? How can I X, Y, and Z, and all those things? Because now that you have the time, you're going to have the brain space to do that. This is the way that you should be operating when you are expanding. And so that is why you got to do it on a smaller scale, okay? You've got to learn how to do that right where you are at, so that when you do expand, you got it, okay? You got it. Okay, now the last part of doing an audit, which is actually what we're trying to get to, is the data reference. So there is a quote that I've been reading this book, by the way, you guys, and this is called The 12-Week Year. I might actually do an entire video on this because it's amazing. But one of the quotes in it, it says that in God we trust, all others must bring data, and it's by W. Edwards Deming. So in God we trust, but all others must bring data, okay? I can trust in God. I know that is a secure, that's going to be secure. But anything else, I'm going to have data to be able to understand what's really going on. And so that is what we're looking for, is the data. So because you have compiled all these things, now what we got to do is you need to have a system or something to put the data in, so that we can start collecting the data. And then from there, we can truly have a true analyzation of your business, the overall health, what's happening, and it's going to be in black and white. And let me just say this, you guys, okay? When you can see these things in black and white, it's so much clearer. And there's a lot of things that you don't even know that's causing you and that's hindering you from expanding, because you don't have the data to be able to look at it. Okay. You don't have the data. I'm going to tell you what you're doing. Okay. You're going off of a feeling, right? I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and this person reached out to me and said that they were trying to expand, and they were like, I think the reason why, and enrollment was the issue. So they were like, I think the reason why is because families have to walk up 25 steps to get to my front door. And she was like, I really think that could be causing my location and how I'm set up could be causing families not to come. So when I was, reading over, and I was like, my brain just starts going. When you guys come to me with things like that, my mind is like twirling, and I'm thinking, no, wait a minute now. Now, you already have some children that are enrolled with you, because I know this person said they already had some. So I was like, so the way that I look at those kind of things, the 25 steps of parents coming to you has already been justified. Okay. You've got a certain amount that are walking those 25 steps every day to get to your doorstep. So to me, that would not be the problem. However, we don't know what the issue is unless we have the data. And the only way that you're going to have the data is just ask. Okay. And how we do that in an automated fashion is through a CRM system. So I talked about this on one of the other videos. If you guys go look at my marketing, daycare marketing and advertising playlist here on YouTube, on my channel, you'll see that one. But do you understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times we can save ourselves a lot of headache when we have the data, because I'm not going off of a feeling. I'm not assuming something. I literally have the black and white. Now, it does take a little bit of time to collect the data, which is why I want you to go ahead and start on this now, okay? But when you get it, it's going to really change the trajectory of your expanding. And also, you're going to want that kind of data when you go into a bigger center, right? So if you already have 16 children right now, or you're licensed for like a group home or whatnot, and you're able to get in 16 or 12 or whatever, and then you expand and you go into, let's say, a center that can hold 100 students, you're going to want to operate using a lot of data, because it's going to be really difficult to gauge what's really going on based off of what you think, what you're assuming, or how you're feeling. Okay, y'all. If you are loving this content, you know what I need for you to go ahead and do. Go ahead and give this video a like. Go ahead, if you have not subscribed to the channel, if you've been sitting here watching the whole time and you have not hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that little subscribe button, and also hit the little bell so that you're notified of when I post up videos. Okay, so as I recap, and before I actually recap, I do want to say one more thing. You got to treat this like a business, okay? If you want to be a childcare business that is well sought out, that's the number one in your community, that is very successful, that makes a lot of money, you cannot treat this, you can't be amateur with this, okay? You've got to be very professional. And, I always say, you've got to come in with a Fortune 500 mentality. You've got to come in with that. If you don't come in with that, when you get out there, okay, and you try to compete with the big dogs, you're going to lose at the game, okay? This is a game. Business is a game. And if you don't know the rules and you don't treat it like a true business, you're going to lose, right? And I want you to succeed. I want, my dream and goal would be that I am influencing, childcare business across the entire world to run their childcare businesses like a business, right? Like, this is what it is. But a lot of times, we're not running it like a business. And I get it, because I was there. We started this out of a passion to work with children, out of a passion to help families. I've talked to several of you all. We started this because, we didn't like what we saw, whether we previously worked at a childcare business, for me, or whatever. But so yes, okay, those things are all relevant. But again, you are in an industry, a business industry, and you got to know how to play the game. And how you're going to get good at playing the game is through that data. So to recap everything, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to break down your childcare business into the 5 automated engines that I teach and that I just went over, okay? Making sure that you do add that one bonus one, which is your work-life balance. And with your work-life balance, I want you to think about, what do you want this business to give you? I don't want you're going to give to children and families. You're automatically going to do that. But what do you want out of this business, okay? You're going to put that in that work-life balance area. The second thing that you're going to do is you're going to think about How are you decreasing your time in each of these areas? And how are you increasing your income? So each of these areas, again, should be doing one or two things, which is decreasing your time, okay, or increasing your income. And then we are going to use data to analyze what's really going on so we can really get the true and big picture. Okay, you guys, that is all that I have for today. In the comments, these are your next steps. In the comments, I would like to know, what issues are you struggling with your expansion? Let's go ahead and start that conversation and continue the conversation down below in the comments. So go ahead and meet me down there. And I am looking forward to hearing what you've got going on and kind of chit-chatting back with you a little bit there. Also, you can learn how to work with me over in my High Touch Consulting program. So there is a link down below where you can learn more about how you can book your call with me, your decisions call with me, and we can discuss further what that looks like. Also, something else that I do want you to be aware of, and that's really important when you are expanding, is your budget. So you do need to be able to do a budget, and that's one of the first things I typically tell people. Once we do an audit, then normally the next thing would be, before you actually go look for that location, you do want to go ahead and do a budget so you know how you're going to profit in this new space and all those good things. And I do have a budget workshop that you can take. So I'm going to leave the link down below, and you can learn more about how to access that workshop training. It's a 3-hour workshop training. It has a workbook with it, y'all. It is everything that you need if you need to really dive deeper into that budget side of your